You mentioned bestseller, which is every publisher and author's dream. I guess not nearly as
Yes.
much as you for you than them if they keep 100% of the royalties. But when I've worked with authors for marketing, what an author thinks they should price a book at and what I think they should price a book at is never even close. As a publisher, as an author, what can you give people as advice for setting the price of a book, whether it's ebook, audiobook, or hard copy?
So I think that when it comes to pricing your book, a couple things to keep in mind is as a self-published author, you want to know what your competition is pricing at, right? And so I'll give you a prime example. I went to a book festival in Chicago, and this person was wondering why their children's book, which was about the same amount of pages as the children's books we've done, why it wasn't selling. And I overheard them. So I went around, went to this particular table, and I read their book. I'm like, oh, it's an interesting concept. How much is your book? Oh, it's $40. When you have these other 15 tables selling their books at $10, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes, and I get it. I get that he felt as though his book was worth $40. But my goodness, I think you can pick up a Harry Potter book cheaper than that, right? So the main thing you want to pay attention to is your expenses. So if you know, for example, that it costs $3.50 per book to print your book. In my mind, this is what I tell authors all the time: attempt to at least double your money, at least double your money. Okay. And so if you know that it's going to be 350 per book, or that's how much Amazon is taking out after they get their percentage, you want to make sure you try your hardest to double that. Or if you order books on bulk, right? Let's say you order 200 books and it costs you $3. Okay. You know, if you sell your book at $10, you're making that $7 come up, right? So I would say really pay attention to what your expenses are when it comes to pricing, because believe it or not, I actually have more authors who want to sell their book at $5.99, at $6.99. I'm like, I get where you're coming from, but once you do the math, you're making like 50 cents, right? So we want to be a little bit smart there. So definitely look at your competition, look at their pricing, and then that'll get you a better sense of, okay, wow, people will pay this much for the type of product I put out.
I totally get what you're saying and agree with it and have my own theory as well. For a hard
Mm-hmm.
copy, I think your logic has to be different. But what I've recommended to so many
Yes.
authors, because you have to think of, I don't know the exact number. I want to say somewhere between 1,500 and 3 grand to publish a book and to do it properly, somewhere in that ballpark. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody thinking like they do with the $40 book. Fuck, dude, I put 3 grand into this project. I think it's great. I put my life into this. It's worth $50. Initially, I think every ebook should be $1. Why? You're going to make 60 cents, 45 cents, something like that after Amazon takes everything. Like you
Right.
said, kind of sucks. But if you're just coming out the gate, you have no experience, you have no bestsellers, you have no real reputation. Why am I going to give you $12 for your book, $10 for an ebook? I don't have a tangible copy. I just have something that I have access to on my screen, my Kindle, what have you. But at $1 for your first 10 sales, $1.50 for your next 10 sales. Keep going up 50 cents or $1, whatever your increment is, once you get social proof, because those first 10 people, if you have 15 people that really care about you on social media, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I just published my book. It's only $1 for the first X amount of time. You get that call to action that makes it seem like this is a limited time deal. Great product right here, dollar right now. Get people to go,
Mm-hmm.
but tell them to leave a review. You know the power of reviews, the testimonials, the more good things people are saying. As me reading it, I want to
Yes.
see, well, what is it about this Professor Pig character? Why is he interesting? Oh, this guy here says he learned more about it in Mexico in this book than he did in 4 years of high school. So you start seeing
Right.
things like that. Then once you get 5 reviews, 10 reviews, 20 reviews, whatever number it is, then that 10, 15, $20 mark for your book, it makes sense. opposed to
Yeah.
coming out the gate at $10, $20, whatever. Yeah, it'd be great to get a whole bunch of money selling them 10, $15 a pop, but it's easier to sell 10 people at $1 than it is to sell one person on $10 until everybody's getting it. Then you're like, oh, I want to know about it.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, you make a lot of good points. We always tell people to make sure that they sell their ebook cheaper than their physical, of course. And so it's, you know, you do want people to read your book, but you also want them to feel as though they're getting a good deal.